So I've arrived at the Dachau Concentration Camp Memorial sites here in Germany. This was one of the first ever concentration camps built by the Nazis, which sparked the outrage across all of Greater Germany at the time and some parts of Poland you see today, including Auschwitz, where they expanded their wrath. So this isn't a normal place to visit, and it's not a normal vlog stop, but I believe you have to come here to truly understand what happened here, and those who don't learn about history are condemned to repeat it. I think here we have some remains of the train tracks that used to bring people in. Okay, so we are here in Dachau, and where we are standing right here is where a roll call would happen every day. The prisoners would line up and an inspection would happen to assemble everyone. So at the front we saw where roll call would happen every day, and if your certain block's head count did not match, they would keep you there for hours waiting, and some people died during the blistering weather conditions. So what we are approaching here is the Dachau Memorial, made in the honor of the victims who died here. To think this was the first place that basically blew the foundations of the war and the Holocaust is crazy. So a bit of background history. The Nazis actually used to do trials in Munich with the people. Once they found out people were becoming immune to the effects of being segregated from the Jews, they thought, let's expand, and I think that's similarly what they've done here. So this was the design of the outer wall and the electric fencing, essentially making escape absolutely impossible. Some prisoners would actually run into the electric fence to stop their suffering, which is just, it takes you back just to how difficult life must have been here for someone to want to end their life quickly in such a quick but horrific way. And as you can see, the trenches are purposely a bit deep because the Nazis themselves didn't like picking up prisoners from the electric fencing. They'd rather shoot them, and that was the purpose. To not only prevent, but to kill immediately and dispose of by burning. And now we're gonna go ahead into the barracks where the prisoners used to stay. This shows an example of how people used to stay in these barracks, similar to Auschwitz. This is the washroom and toilet. It sort of feels humane compared to Auschwitz, with the literal holes in the floor. And that is just one of the barracks here at Dachau. It's so cold here. I need you to understand, this is not like Krakow in July. This place is cold. I can just imagine people dying from typhus and frostbite. And also in the barracks, you had to enter, even this place was said not to be by God, right? However, they would treat the barracks as a holy place. You were not allowed to enter with shoes or sandals, only with barefoot. And since it's wooden and the flooring didn't look great, people probably had loads of blisters everywhere. And from these blisters would get infections and then eventually death. This is the former camp road. In the few hours that they had, this would be their time to meet with their friends, family, and they would develop a spirit of the camp road, as the prisoners expressed it. It was a symbol of the solidarity amongst the prisoners, which developed despite this violence.
Just before the crematorium, there are two memorials, one Jewish, one Christian, a quiet reminder of how many different lives were affected here.
So what we're seeing here is the maintenance building built by the prisoners themselves. And it's no longer here, but on the roof here, it was written, "There is a path to freedom here. Its milestones are."
After exploring the main camp, I headed inside the maintenance building, which has been converted into a museum and an exhibition center. Here I learned more about Dachau Concentration Camp.
The Dachau Concentration Camp. It existed for almost the entire Nazi dictatorship, from 1933 to 1945.
So behind the maintenance building here on the right is the bunker. So there's a reason for these bars on the windows, if you would even call them windows. And this was the camp's prison. Used to punish people, torture them. Hence why it's located behind the maintenance building, out of sight. And that sums up Dachau concentration camp. I'm going to go head back into München now to Königsplatz to see unseen pictures of the war. So similar to my Poland vlogs from last year, I thought I'd do the same by setting the tone with history, right? So behind me, this place might look beautiful, this whole entire square here, but back in the 1930s in Nazi Germany, this is actually where they would have their rallies. And what a way to start it off, at the Königsplatz, main square here in München. Some of the buildings you see around me, like Propalien, are still standing here and were even used during that era. Walking through here, you can really feel the weight of history, and it's a reminder of the city's dark past that shaped the years to come.
Shortly after, I stopped by at Hofbräuhaus, probably Munich's most famous beer hall, but this place has a darker layer to its history too. In the early 1920s, it was one of the meeting spots used by the Nazi Party, back when Munich was basically the center of their rise. It's strange standing here now, seeing people laughing and drinking, knowing what was once discussed behind these walls. To finish the day, I came here at the NS-Dokumentationszentrum München. What makes this place so different is that it doesn't try to soften anything. This museum is built on the exact site where the Nazi Party headquarters once stood. And instead of artifacts, it focuses on context, how things started, how people were influenced, and how ordinary life slowly changed. You see how propaganda worked, how the city was involved, and how quickly things escalated. It doesn't tell you what to think, it just lays everything out and lets you reflect.